13-year-old right-hander Frankie Merlino is a star pitcher for Team Tyrus Baseball. In the 5 years he's been throwing, he does everything he can to protect his arm. He never throws a curveball.
I know curveballs are dangerous, but my coach is always encouraging me not to throw them and showing me examples of pitchers who've wasted their career throwing a curveball.
Despite his precautions, Frankie suffered a sprain in his elbow last summer. A new study conducted by the American Sports Medicine Institute shows the greatest threat to young arms comes from throwing too many pitches, regardless of the type.
That's when kids get hurt.
Dr. Greg Arnold is a chiropractor and a pitching coach at the Play Like a Pro Baseball Academy in Hauppauge, New York. He says the high pitch count causes problems, but so does incorrect technique.
Proper mechanics is number one. It's all about timing. A certain chain reaction has to take place. It starts down in the legs and goes up through the hips and then the trunk and then the shoulders and then finally to the release point. When they go through growth spurts, they get clumsy and the timing gets off. And when the timing gets off, that's when the arm strain increases.
Parents and coaches still delay kids from throwing curveballs with the hope of keeping them healthy. But Frankie's father, Frank Merlino, attests that it's not just the curveball, but the pressure to pitch a lot and often that can cause harm to a young pitcher.
After last year, I did let him get overworked and he did suffer a sprain of his elbow.
Little League Baseball puts a cap on how many pitches each pitcher is allowed to throw in a game depending on their age. A required number of rest days relative to the amount of pitches thrown is also a rule. Sports medicine orthopedist Dr. James Pacey says that it's the practice and development of new pitches that adds to the overuse of the arm.
The younger you are trying to pick up a third pitch, the more you have to throw to become comfortable throwing that pitch.
Sports doctors encourage young athletes to participate in more than one sport to give different muscles some rest. But for those who stick only to baseball, Dr. Pacey has some tips.
1, stretch your shoulder. Okay, stretch your shoulder properly and stretch every day if you're a pitcher. The second thing is limit your pitches, especially when you're younger.
Throwing over 300 innings a year significantly increases the chance for injury, a target which is easily hit among players who play on multiple teams. Dr. Pacey advises parents to try and monitor their kids' throwing because the alternative is frightening.
There's one main ligament on the inside of the elbow that over time builds up wear and tear. And eventually, guys can't throw. So you're talking about a major surgery missing a year of baseball, because you've just built up this much damage over time.
As Frankie gets older, his pitch counts will get higher, and his arsenal of pitches will become wider. But after experiencing his injury, Frankie says he is mindful of taking care of his body and utilizing his rest. For Stony Brook News, I'm Danny Kleppinger.